Melphira was the daughter of a high-ranking noble, but despite her status, everyone looked down on her. People avoided her with disgust, calling her unfit to be a noble, all because of her unusual hobby. She loved cooking and eating monster meat. However, her fate changed one day when she met a man named Aristide, who was feared throughout the land by his infamous title, the Blood-Mad Duke. The anime begins with Melphira being pressured by her stepmother to find a fiancé within the year, otherwise she will be sent to a convent. Determined to avoid that fate, Melphira attends the royal banquet in hopes of finding a suitable partner. However, because of her poor reputation, she is ignored by the nobles. Realizing this, she turns instead to the knights area, believing that among them, she may have a better chance of finding someone who will accept her. Just then, a monster suddenly appeared and began attacking the area. Panic spread as everyone screamed and fled for their lives. Melphira also tried to escape, but she noticed an elderly couple who had fallen to the ground. Without hesitation, she ran to help them. Unfortunately, the monster drew closer, forcing Melphira to make a desperate choice. She tried to lure the creature away to protect the couple. Knowing she couldn't outrun it, she prepared herself for death, thinking that at least the two would be safe. But just as the monster was about to strike, a man appeared out of nowhere and cut the beast down with a single slash, leaving everyone stunned. When they looked closer, they realized who he was. The infamous Blood-Mad Duke, Aristide, a man so terrifying that no one dared to go near him. Yet to Melphira, he looked strangely beautiful. After thanking him for saving her, she noticed the monster's blood splattered on his face and quickly warned him. She explained that monsters have a strong tendency to go mad, and their blood is often corrupted by magical toxin. The blood of a living beast is harmless, but once it's tainted with magic, it can cause fever or intense stomach pain if swallowed. This surprised Aristide, making him wonder how she knew so much about monsters, and then took out a vial of purified water and handed it to Melphira, telling her to drink it, just in case any magic toxins had entered her system. Even though he doubted she had ingested any, Aristide then glanced at the blood on Melphira's dress and told her to follow him, saying she could borrow some of his clothes to change into. However, Melphira politely declined, saying it was fine. This confused him, and he asked if the beast's blood didn't bother her. But Melphira simply smiled and said that it didn't bother her at all, as it was nothing compared to when she had butchered a beast the previous week. Her answer shocked him. Curious, he asked for her name, and she introduced herself as Melphira, the daughter of Count Marcalraid. Aristide then chuckled and remarked that it was no wonder she knew so much about monsters, revealing that he actually had heard of her before, the girl who eats monsters, known as the voracious villainess, to which Melphira quickly corrected him, explaining that it wasn't the monsters she was interested in, it was the food. Amused, Aristide asked if the beast from earlier looked edible to her. She admitted that it did, and even found herself wondering how she could prepare it to make it taste good. When she noticed Aristide's surprised expression, she suddenly realized what she had just said, and then gave an awkward smile to ease the tension. But little did she know, Aristide had actually blushed, finding her awkward smile surprisingly cute. Without saying a word, he gently took her hand and led her away, leaving Melphira wondering why he wasn't afraid of her like everyone else. After a short walk, Aristide suddenly stopped and asked if the beast's meat was really good, and what it tasted like. Melphira hesitated, remembering how people usually reacted with disgust whenever she talked about it. She wondered if Aristide would be the same. Still, she decided to answer honestly. She explained that the beast's meat had a texture similar to beef and could be quite delicious, as long as the creature hadn't gone mad, since corrupted magic would make its flesh unsafe to eat. To her surprise, Aristide looked intrigued instead of disgusted. His unexpected reaction touched her, and for the first time, she felt genuinely happy that someone was interested. Smiling, she went on to explain how to make monster meat safe to eat. The magic must first be removed from the body during the bleeding process, which requires special tools and purification spells. Fascinated, Aristide told her he wanted to try it sometime, and asked if she would prepare some. Hearing that, Melphira's eyes lit up with joy, as she had never met anyone quite like him before. Later, Aristide took Melphira to his camp, where he introduced her to his butler, a man named Kaus, and asked him to bring her a change of clothes. While she waited, Aristide prepared some water for her to wash her face and hands. Melphira tried to refuse, saying he didn't need to go through the trouble, but Aristide simply said it was fine, then began taking off his own clothes right in front of her, leaving her completely shocked by his well-built physique. She eventually joined him, and the two washed their hands together. As they talked, Melfira admitted that she wanted to become strong like him, so she could defeat a monster with a single strike too. Aristide smiled gently and told her not to worry so much, that she should leave the fighting to him instead. He then asked if there was anything she wanted to try, promising that he would hunt it down for her. His words made her heart flutter, and with a bright smile, she began listing all the creatures she wished she could taste. Aristide chuckled, amused by her enthusiasm, and together they playfully helped wash each other's faces. Unfortunately, just as the atmosphere grew warm, Kaus suddenly entered the tent and sternly reminded Aristide that this was hardly an appropriate sight for the unmarried daughter of a count. After changing into her new clothes, Melfira was surprised when Aristide approached her, carrying the head of the monster he had slain earlier, and then presented it to her as a gift, leaving everyone in the camp stunned. The soldiers exchanged uneasy glances, wondering what their duke was thinking, giving something like that to a lady, not knowing that it was actually the perfect gift for Melfira. As Melfira was about to say goodbye, Aristide promised that the next time they met, he would bring her a gift, the beast's corpse. Melfira smiled and reminded him that this time she wanted him to capture it alive, saying that monster meat tastes best when the beast is still fresh. Her words made Aristide grin, accepting it with a quiet laugh, as if taking on a new challenge. Before she left, Melfira handed him a piece of jerky made from a scatspit, a beast native to the Marcharade territory. Aristide gladly accepted it and decided to try it right away, much to his butler Kaus's alarm. Kaus hurried to stop him, but Aristide ignored him and even made the poor man taste it too. To their surprise, both found it incredibly delicious, and seeing their reactions made Melfira's face light up with joy. On her way back, Melfira couldn't stop thinking about Aristide. He was far more polite and gentle than the terrifying man the rumors described. She wondered if he had been kind to her only out of curiosity, wanting to see what the rumored voracious villainess was really like. Yet, even so, she couldn't help but let her hopes rise a little, wishing that perhaps he liked her for who she truly was. If you've come this far, please consider liking and subscribing for more videos like this. Thanks.